My bad, y'all. My phone stopped recording. So where was I? Yeah, so in the East they call it Maya, right? Let's see if I can get away with this one last time. Also, I'm like, 1 second, y'all. Okay. Hopefully that helps somehow. But Maya, right? Illusions of the mind. Dunya, whatever you want to call it, the dream world, whatever. That's everything you see with your eyes. Everything that is physically manifested, the plane of things made manifest, this thing, all this here, that's the illusion. Okay? That's the illusion. So understanding is knowing the difference between this illusion and the reality, which is the breath. Now we're talking spiritually, so everything is upside down from the real world, from the physical world, right? So reality is the things that we really can't see or can't perceive of. They're more real than what is actually real physically, right? So the physical manifestation and the breath, or the eternal, in Judaism they call it Ein Sof, which means the all, the ultimate, right? The infinite. That is the reality. Everything else, everything that changes, that's the illusion. So that's understanding, knowing what's real from what is fake. Knowledge is just knowledge. Knowledge is just whatever. Knowledge is just whatever. Okay? Knowledge is just, I know that the sky appears to be blue. Now, that's actually funny. Never mind. Tangent, that's a side note. The sky is not blue, but it's side note. That's when you get into studying like wavelengths of what's the word? Light wavelengths and light spectrum frequencies, all that, how it's perceived by the eye again. Never mind. But anyway, so I know that the sky appears to be blue. I know that the wind is blowing. I know that the trees are blowing and, doing their thing or whatever. But that's just general knowledge and information. It doesn't really help you in the end. You see what I'm saying? Knowledge you get in books. People think that because they read books, all of a sudden you're smart or you know something or you're wise. Wisdom is not found on paper. There is no wisdom in a book. Because a book is nothing but pages and ink. There's no wisdom in pages and ink. The wisdom comes from you. And how you get wisdom, which is the third one, wisdom is the application of knowledge. Just high level stuff right here. High level stuff right here, yo. But wisdom is the application of your knowledge to yourself. Not to the rest of the world, to yourself. Once you get that little aha moment, like you finally get that little bit of knowledge, like, okay, got it, right? That right there is when you apply it. You take it in and you apply it to yourself. When you apply it to yourself, and as you start to move, that's when you get wisdom. And that's ultimately what it is that you want. You want wisdom. Because through wisdom, you'll start to just know certain stuff without even knowing how you know it. People just start to ask you, how do you know that? You're just looking like, because at a certain point, you get attuned to the rest of this frequency. You start to get attuned to who it is that you actually are. Not this, but the breath, the essence. That's why it's important to know yourself. Now, like I was saying before, bring it back down, right? What does that got to do with anything that's going on right now, right? Well, I'm gonna just say melanated people all over the world, right, have actually been tricked There's been a big, epic plot and plan against us. We already know. The problem is, we feel that something is wrong, but we don't really know what, right? What's wrong is the fact that we've been tricked into calling ourselves something that we're not. We call ourselves black. You're not black. Look, what color is my pants? Black, right? I feel like Dora the Explorer. What color is... Can you find the tree? Let me stop. I'm joking around too much. But, yeah, so what color are my pants? Black, right? What color am I? Oops. Am I the same color as my pants? No. And again, we speak about spells and curses and your words have meaning and weight. Do you know that the meaning of black, according to science, spiritual science, is death? Black, according to science, means death. Why do you think, what color do people wear when they go to funerals? Oops. So, if we're saying that we come from, well, it's some of our people, because I'm not black. I'll be the first to tell you. And you're not either. One day you'll understand that if you don't already know that. If we understood that that's the plot against us, we would be, if we let go of black is beautiful, black power, black this, black that, the black this, the black blah blah blah. If we let go of that stuff, man, we would be so much further ahead as a people, so much further ahead. Because there's actual history and culture out there for us to claim. Look at me. Look at how I dress, bro. Like, who do you know that even dresses like this? And I'm not no Israelite. No offense to the Israelites. Shout out to the Israelites. But I'm not an Israelite. I'm Moorish. I'm a Moorish American. And when you start to study the history of the Moors, you start to see a whole lot of stuff. You start to realize, wait a minute, the sidewalks that we walk on, we made those sidewalks. Stoplights, we made the stoplight. So Moorish invented the stoplight. We celebrate them every month, Black History Month. But we don't even look at the world as that. Every time you drive and you come across a stoplight, you're using Moorish technology. Every time you go outside and just walk, you're walking on a sidewalk. You're using the technology of your ancestors every day and don't even know. We had paved roads, we had street lamps. So they try to circumscribe our history into a certain part. They always do. They do the same thing with slavery. They say slavery was 400 years. No, it wasn't. Okay, well, slavery was 200 years. No, it wasn't. Slavery lasted from 1779 to 1865. 1779 with the First Continental Congress, when they signed into law the fact that we were slaves, so-called slaves, Negro, black, colored. At the First Continental Congress, Philadelphia, 6 and Chestnuts, Carpenter's Hall, Pennsylvania. That's when they made you a slave. Specifically the year and the exact location on which they made you a slave. Okay? 1779. Oops. Right? That's when they made you a slave. And then 1865 was the Emancipation Proclamation, right? So from those 2 years, right, the start and the end of slavery really only lasted 86 years. Really 85 if you don't count the year in which it was enacted, but 85, 86 years. Slavery didn't even last 100 years. Not even 100, not even 90. But they got us believing it lasted 400, 1619, man. 1619, man, no. Man, do you know we were ruling parts of this world in 1619? Do you know we had entire empires in 1619? We were doing our thing in 1619, bro. What are you talking about? But they got you so focused on a certain perspective of yourself that you don't even know. Don't even know. It doesn't even occur to you to look past that. These years that they reference, okay, cool, all that's cool and everything. What happened before that? Anybody know? What happened before that? Nobody knows. Except, every library that ever existed. But again, what they always tell you, you want to hide something from a Negro, put it in a book. Negroes don't read. Man. Good thing I'm not a Negro. Because a Negro is an animal with 4 legs, in case you didn't know. There's actually a monkey. The nickname for the monkey is the Negro monkey. Oops. We dropping gems today, boy. We dropping gems today, so. But yeah, you can't refer to yourself as these names and principles that allude to slavery. You were not black, you were not Negro until you were a slave. And until you take the rightful place and proclaim your free national name, which is Moorish American, so that the government can actually recognize you, no one's going to recognize you. Me personally, I have an ID that I got straight from the DMV. It's a regular Washington, D.C. ID. I live in D.C. It's a regular D.C. ID. Guess what? My ID says that I'm Moorish American. I went to the courthouse. I showed the judge what I had to show the judge. I got a card, a temple card from the Moorish Science Temple of America. Divine and National Movement. I showed the judge that card, the card I got from the temple. Guess what? Judge took one look at the card. Look, I got my water right here, but judge took one look at the card, did like this. Regular pale-skinned judge, pale-skinned European judge. Guess what? Took one look at that card. Everything after that was, yes, sir. Okay, sir. Let me get you your stuff, sir. So, and he gave me my stuff. He gave me my papers. He gave me what I came there to get. I was in and out. The whole thing took less than 30 minutes. I'd say probably about 25 minutes. If even that. It might have been about 15. And I didn't have to do no demonstrations. I didn't have to argue him down. I didn't have to do none of that. I came in, I said, give me my stuff. He said, yes, sir, and he gave me my stuff. That's why it's important to know yourself on an earthly and divine level. On a divine and national level. It's important to know who you are. And now, wherever I go, anywhere, literally, bro, it's a restaurant not too far from here. I've gone into that restaurant, bro, and they literally give me free food. Free food. I buy my little plate. I will walk over to the thing. I will sit down. I'm eating. You know what I'm saying? The owner of the restaurant will literally come out. Brother, please, try some more chicken. You want to try this, brother? Try this. We just made it. We're working on it. Let me know what you think. Because they know that I know. Every time I get into an Uber, anyone who wants to learn about the world but can't afford to travel, here's a, life hack. You want to travel the world without going nowhere? Take an Uber and ask the person where they're from. All these Uber drivers out here are not from the U.S. They're from other places. Ask them about their country. Ask them to speak their language. Be interested in who they are as people. You will learn so much about the world, it's not even funny. And as I research, because I've been to the Library of Congress, I got connections with the Library of Congress, I collaborate with Library of Congress staff, different libraries around the city and stuff like that. As I learn more stuff, and I try to talk to people from these different cultures that I'm learning about, they're corroborating and adding to what I know. They're saying, yes, brother, that's true. Yes, brother, that's true. Matter of fact, that is true. And in addition to that, now they're giving me more information. Now, I have certain stuff in my mind you can't even find in books. You actually have to go and talk to somebody from that country. You can't even... Do you understand there's certain knowledge that certain cultures will not put in a book? They won't tell other people outside of who the people that they feel like they need to tell. You have to go and talk to the person and know how to talk to the person. If you don't know, they won't even tell you. Like, it's almost like being in a club, but it's not being in a club. It's just being a part of the world stage. That's all it is. Because I tell them I'm Moorish. I'm a descendant of the ancient Moroccans and born in America, the west side of Morocco, the west side of the Moroccan Empire. And they look at me and they go, "Yes, brother, I know." I'm like, "What? Oh, so you know?" "Yes, brother." "Oh, so you know that Morocco was much bigger than it used to be, or much bigger than it is now?" "Yes, brother, I know." I've talked to people from Morocco. They're literally, man, on Instagram, it was a brother from Morocco. He done sent me pictures of Moroccan coins from the 1200s with the Star of David on them. DM me talking about, "Yes, brother, everything on your page is correct, and I'm so proud that you know who you are. And I'm sending you this information so that you know, so that you have more information, so that you are able to carry it through the generations and teach your children and teach your people of their nationality and divine creed." And guess what I do? I give it to my brothers and sisters. Guess what I do? I make YouTube videos about it. Oops. Go on my YouTube page. You'll find all sorts of lectures, all sorts of stuff about what I do, who I am, why it's important for you to know these things. Breaking that, this is not a secret. There's no secrets. I talk about it plainly on my YouTube channel, clearly. I did a video about the Moors in Europe. Not the ones that they told you about, the ones that, oh, okay, so the Moors, right, they was North African, and then they went from Africa into Europe, and they conquered Europe, and cool. But that's not the only Moors that was in history. Moors from all over the world. There's Moors in India. There's an entire empire in India called the Mauryan Empire. M-A-U-R, hold up. Say ambulance. The Mauryan Empire, M-A-U-R-Y-A-N, Mauryan Empire in India. Thousands of years ago, like 50,000 years ago. Some of the greatest rulers of India, Ashoka and Chandragupta, were from the Mauryan Empire. They were Moors. And they were melanated. Don't let nobody let it twist you up in your mind. They're melanated people. Alright? So, like I've been saying before, that's why it's important to know who you are. That's why. So that you can set yourself straight. You set your household in order. You teach this to your children. You can educate your people so that you are good as a person. Your community is good as a people. That's what we're missing. We are missing nationality. And nationality is not how you dress. It's not the flag that you have. Nationality is how the people show up together. That's why so many different nationalities and flags around the world. The color of the people changes, the shade of the people changes, the customs, the dress of the people changes, the flag of the people changes, the food the people cook, the language the people speak, the buildings that they live in, all that changes. The thing that stays the same is the love and the unity. The breath and the essence that they all share stays the same. That's why it's important to know who you are, so that you stop letting these people call you black because you're not. And until you realize that, you're still going to be a slave. You're still going to be deluded to the names and the principles that suggest that you are a slave. And you're not. You never have been. You were an indentured servant. You were a prisoner of war. But you are not, nor will you ever be, a slave. Ever. Know yourself and your Father God Allah. Know yourself and the pride of His creation. Focus on your breath. Be still and listen. And stay in touch. Follow me on Instagram, Angel Yeldell-Bey. It's the same name as on YouTube. Just search it up on Instagram. Subscribe to me on YouTube, like the video, you know what I'm saying, whatever it is. And yeah, man. Oh, like I said, I made a video about the Moors in Europe. Not the ones that they told you about, but the ones that were actually in Europe indigenously. They didn't tell you that part. The fact that we were the ones to establish all of the noble positions in Europe. Queens and the kings of Europe, all us, and we were the ones that established those positions. We didn't fall into them. We weren't slaves that were raised up in the positions. A lot of us were actually progenitors. Look up that word, progenitor. Progenitors of those monarchies. Go check that video out. It's at like 3,000 views or something like that. Thank y'all for those views. I really appreciate it. I just did another one too on the connections between ancient Kemet and ancient America. Check it out. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. And stay united with our brothers and sisters, man. We're all the same. From the lightest of the light olive to the darkest of the dark olive. This is olive skin. It's brown. Go look up a picture of olives. They're all brown, shades of brown. Some olives are green, but a lot of olives are actually brown. So when they say olive-complected people, what do you think they mean? They're not talking about green people. They're talking about you. But that's it for right now. I can sit here and talk for another however many. It's probably already like a 30 or 40 minute video. So, and I'm getting hungry. I haven't eaten today. I've just been drinking this water. Shout out to, well, actually no, I'm not sponsored, so I don't know what I'm giving a shout out to. Pay me. All right, Morse. Peace and love.